burn. Why are you not playing him at the end of the year when the season is over with? Let that kid have an opportunity to play. Now, am I excited of the potential? Do I think Pope will be better? Hell yeah. Do I think Peyton's going to have a nice year? Yes. Do I like the 4 freshmen they brought in? Sure. And do I really like them all in Rhett Lashley's offense? Even better. Because if you go look, James Prochet was his leading receiver a year ago. Prochet had, I think, 111 catches last year. 111. The year previous, he had 93. James Prochet had offers from places like Arkansas State, Colorado State, some of the other nondescript schools, and ends up going to SMU and gets drafted. What do you think Mark Pope or Mike Harley, guys that were 4-star recruits that everybody in the country wanted to go play to them, what do you think they look at? I am skeptical about the group. I'll be honest. I put point blank, this is not a playoff contending group, period. Yeah. They have to prove it to me on the field before I'll buy into all the hype.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, John. I've been very vocal about my distrust of the wide receiver unit for pretty much every reason that you just you laid it out perfectly. So and with you, I'm on the D Wiggins train as our number 1 receiver. The optimist inside of me, the yearly Canes hype man inside of me, thinks that he could seriously pop this year. I think if anyone goes over 100 catches, I think it'll probably be him, or gets near that number. And honestly, I think he has the kind of physical tools that he could really bust onto the the mock draft scene with a good year under Rhett Lashley. So I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess, right now. But that's mostly schematic more so than roster based.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The scheme has proven itself over and over again. Now, they didn't have quite the passing numbers when he was at Auburn, but remember, Gus Malzahn wants to run power spread, not as much passing spread. The Dykes tree, Sonny and Spike Dykes, they want to throw it around. Gus wants to get up and manipulate you with formations and quick snaps, but at the base of what he wants to do, he wants to run the football. Auburn, when, with Gus calling the plays, was always at their best when they had a really good quarterback who could run. Obviously, Cam Newton, when he was an offensive coordinator, and even Nick Marshall, they were on the edge of winning a national title there. I think now with Rhett kind of getting a little bit of both of those trees, I don't know that we'll see a Miami guy go for 100 catches, but I think you could see 4 or 5 guys go over 60 catches, which is something that, Miami hadn't done in a long time. You really look at it, I know Braxton had a really good 2017, but I think he only had about 45 catches. It's just every one of them seemed like it was the catch to win a game. Langham had 20 catches, and 10 of them were for first downs or backbreaking plays against Florida State. It'll be nice to see us have 3 or 4 or 5 guys, and I'll get the tight ends too when when I do the article with them. But this could be Brevin having 55, 60 catches. Will Mallory having another 30. We're actually going to have the ball being spread around for the first time really in about 20 years.
Yeah. And people don't realize, how difficult it is for a Division I wide receiver to have over 100 catches in a season. That's very rare. I want to ask you about Mark Pope, because I've been very vocal about him on this podcast and also stated to you, I just don't know about him. I'm very what's the word? Not negative, but everyone has been hyping him up so much since he came in from high school, and rightfully so. His high school tape was incredible. Do you see him breaking out in 2020 or what? What do you think of Mark Pope?
He better, and I know with all the workout videos that he's been posting, I'll give him that. It seems like if nothing else, he's taking it serious. And I think for kids, there's a lot of time a light switch will click somewhere, and it's typically when you start getting towards that junior year and you go, oh crap, I won't sniff the NFL if I don't get something right now. Mark Pope's a smaller dude anyway. He's going to have to be electric to have somebody in the NFL take a chance on him. Jeff Thomas has had more production, and he was an undrafted kid. Pope, I think the light finally clicked. Part of it, and I'm with you, I don't always buy the bullshit rumors that we get from everybody where it goes, oh, this guy couldn't learn the playbook. You know what that is? that's lazy ass reporting a lot of the time, or it's you may have heard somebody say something and you go along with it. And that's why in my article, I literally put, I stress these were only rumors. But something obviously wasn't right where he couldn't get on the field with Mark Richt's offense. He couldn't get on the field last year, outside of a handful of plays. But I do think he has potential to be this year 45, 50 catches because you see how quick he is in and out of breaks. You see that the potential of running jet sweeps and other ways to get the ball in his hands, it's all there. It's just a matter of him being given that opportunity and somebody like De'Aaron King having the confidence to throw him the football. I think, Pope's the type guy. We play Temple. If he goes 4 catches for like 105 yards and a touchdown, all of a sudden that confidence goes back to where he was in high school. And all of a sudden you see the kid that everybody saw on tape. I'm waiting to see it. I hope I see it. He's one of the guys that could absolutely pop, especially playing in the slot. I think him and Mike Harley could have huge mismatches with linebackers and safeties and make a lot of plays in this offense.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. And so here's a question about the offense I have for you. So last year I pulled up SMU stats. They had their top 3 rushers. They combined for just over 2,000 yards of rushing. So between Jalen Knighton and Cameron Harris and De'Aaron King, do you think that they can combine for at least 2,000 yards, if not 2,200?
That's a big number, but yes, I think they can because, again, if you not just at SMU, but go back and look at what they would do at Auburn. I don't know that Harris will get 1,300 yards, although the ability is absolutely there to do so. I think they're going to move pieces in and out. But think about it. You're going to get 500 or 600 yards out of De'Aaron King, something that Miami has never had. Like, literally, they've never had a quarterback with that ability. So let's say you get 500 or 600 out of King. You get 900 out of Harris, which might be a low estimation. You're already at 1,400. And then you throw in Chaney and Knighton, Burns getting a couple of carries as well, some sweeps. They're absolutely going to be close to 2,000 yards. And once they do that, and again, this kind of goes back to the original question about the offensive line. If Scapes can go inside, we're better run blocking. If Donaldson can go and he's healthy, we're better run blocking. Mm-hmm. Think about the lanes that are going to be there. DJ Dallas averaged 6 yards a carry with basically the 3 of us out there blocking last year. What do you think is going to happen now when you have real O-linemen and a scheme that's going to make the defense less compacted? Dan Enos had 11 guys within, 7 steps of the football. Rhett Lashley's going to go sideline to sideline and make you defend everything. And we have a quarterback that you have to account. How many times do we run that stupid fucking read option? And you knew Jaron Williams wasn't going to keep it. You knew N'Kosi Perry wasn't going to keep it. Like, why the hell did we keep running that dumb shit?
Yep. RPO with the slant. That was our
I mean, you've kind of convinced me right there. It was something that I've been chewing on mentally, for the last few weeks thinking about. But you might have just sold me on it that I think the player that has like the most upside to make a statement season is Cameron Harris, just for all the reasons that you said. I mean, he's certainly, you said DJ was able to get 6 yards a carry with just a horrible situation last year. I think Harris is similarly talented to Dallas. Maybe not as good, but I'm a big fan of Harris's game.
I love Cam Harris, and in this offense, he's a one-cut downhill runner. Find a hole, I'm going to run through it, and I'm just going to keep running. You're going to have an offense where if he can make a linebacker miss, it might be that linebacker and 50 yards of grass. Yeah. Think about that with Cam Harris now, how exciting that could be with 220 pounds of bowling ball running into a secondary where guys aren't going to want to tackle him.
Yeah, man. There's potential for him to really, really make a statement this season. I think it's all set up perfectly for him. He just has to do it. I think the infrastructure is there.
And Cam had
I was going to say, I want to know who the general manager is for the University of Houston that would trade De'Aaron King and Jarrid Williams for Bubba Baxa. Is Bill O'Brien's dumbass pulling the trigger for the University of Houston too? That's the dumbest damn trade I've ever seen. For the Nuke Hopkins trade was ridiculous. But we gave up Bubba Baxa. I can make more kicks than Bubba Baxa at 45 with 2 bad Achilles. Like, I can make those extra points and I'm dead serious. Now, I'm not going to make anything past about 35 yards. I can make those damn extra points that he kept missing a year ago.
Yeah. Poor Bubba. Okay, so last question for John. I know you haven't dove into the tight ends too much yet, but what are your thoughts on not just Brevin Jordan, but Will Mallory as well? Because I think, I mean, obviously everyone knows I'm a huge Brevin Jordan fan. I'm also a really big fan of Will Mallory, and I think he's going to be one of the breakout players for the Canes offense this season. What are your thoughts on both of those guys?
I thought the best thing that happened to Mallory last year, and you hate to see Brevin Jordan be hurt, obviously, was Mallory get a chance to be the guy. And he showed, because remember early in the year he had he had 2 bad drops against Florida. He had a bad drop against North Carolina. 2 of those drops could have cost us the game. Although in retrospect, that might have kept Dan Enos around another year. So it's almost better that he dropped the passes, got that candy ass off my campus. But I like Mallory. And again, it goes back to mismatches and matchups. I never thought Enos took advantage of what we did. Early on in the first game of the year against Florida, I think it was the second play of the season, we run a quick out to Brevin Jordan with receivers downfield blocking, and Jordan breaks a tackle and goes like 30 yards. We never saw enough of that with the tight end group. Think about it now. Again, sideline to sideline. You go put 3 of those receivers out there and 1 or 2 of the tight ends and get those tight ends matched up, A, against a smaller safety, or B, against a linebacker that can't run with them. Marsh, you may have just tweeted like a little while ago, or maybe somebody else did, the throw from Nkosi to Brevin Jordan against Florida State to give us the lead 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That's what you should do with Brevin Jordan. You had him matched up on, I believe, their safety who couldn't run with him. And Jordan runs by him. Well, Mallory can do that same thing. And now that he's got confidence that he can catch the football, because I thought early in the year he was beating the football up instead of just using the natural talent that he has, you let that happen, I think both of those guys can have monster years. The good thing is Mallory won't leave early. The bad thing is Brevin Jordan, this is the last 13, 14, hopefully 15 games, we'll see a Brevin Jordan in a Miami uniform.
Yeah. And who can blame him? I mean, he'll most likely be a first-round pick. But, man, I'm just salivating at the thought of, like you said, I think we all watched that opening drive of Florida and just could not have been happier with Dan Enos, but it just evaporated as soon as it came. And, I cannot wait to see Will Mallory, being matched up against like a tiny safety and just go hog wild on him. I'm so excited for it.
The thing that makes me so excited, here we are, 87 days away from Miami's first game against Temple, and it looks like, well, there's not even look. We know the game's going to be played, and it's pointing more and more like fans are going to be there. I don't know that it'll be full stadiums. Insert the joke you want. We really won't have to worry about that for a while anyway. Yeah. But the thought of 20 or 30,000 fans there, Miami can get really loud with 20,000 fans when they need to. And that's the best thing. We look like we've kind of got through the rest of the bullshit with the coronavirus, or at least I hope that way. And we're finally going to have some football being played really, really soon.
Absolutely. Okay, so John, thank you so much for coming on, brother. We love having you on. You're one of our favorite guests, and go have a hurricane for me at Pat O'Brien's.
I don't know that Bourbon Street is open yet. I say unfortunately, but I got a high school graduation. Our niece graduates high school today. I got lucky. I got to stay home and watch the boys because it's one of these stupid drive-through graduations, and you can only bring 2 cars. Well, her family, my wife's family, is gigantic. There's like 20 of them. And I'm like, I don't have to go. I'll stay here and write. I'll do some of my writing for the week. So I'm good with that, but I will have some Tito's and Red Bull on your behalf.
Good deal, man. We'll have you on in a few more weeks. How's that sound?
Anytime, guys. You got my number.
All right. Thanks, John.
All right.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
All right.
Wonderful.
One of my favorite guests, man. He kills it every single time.
Dude, he is a talented man. Love having him on. He's so incredibly gifted when it comes to radio and podcasting, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, even though like he's been like what I love is that even though he's been like a sports talk host like in Atlanta for a few years and like a big national media guy, he still he still makes time for the Canes. Like he knows this team, and
clearly.
he's one of my favorite guests. I remember I was telling my dad the other day.